Alright, we're back. Hello, everyone. Another weekly edition of our little show here. Give people a minute to see if they're going to come on. We will, I guess when I'm done with this, head off towards University of Maryland for an evening women's soccer exhibition game against Towson. I went, I guess, on Monday for their first preseason game against Bucknell. It was nice. It was the only other time I'd been to Ludwig Field was a men's game this last year against Ohio State. And it was packed, which was cool. It was hard to park, but parking. Oh, it's after 6. All right, that was cool. It's packed, and I sat in the main grandstand or the permanent grandstand. Didn't love it. Because you've got the track, and then you've got like the team benches, and then the field. Not bad, but it wasn't great. This time on Monday, I sat in the, temporary seating in front of the locker rooms, and it was plastic seating with backs. There was hardly anyone there, but like right up against the field. Like as close as you could ever get to a field in a soccer game, and that was cool because you really got to see and hear and feel everything going on. So that was really cool. I did enjoy that. I'm gonna try to do that again today. The downside is you're kind of looking into the sun. You hear that? That's our guest star. You're kind of looking into the sun, and that's not as fun. But as we get into more autumn, it's going to be more of a night game. Let's introduce our co-host for today. You want to come up here? Oh, it's Douglas MacArthur. So the men have a preseason game tomorrow, and then we start getting into the regular season. So this is Douglas. He's our foster dog. We've had him for a little over a week. And you can see how sweet he's being with me right now. And if you've seen our shorts, like it looks similar to this, was not always the case. When he first came in, he was very scared. He was very nervous for everybody. And then he gains a little bit of confidence. And, he uses that to express some opinions. Like, he didn't like it when I put on his leash. So if I would reach for him, especially if I was standing up, he did not like it at all, and he would growl at me. And if I persisted in trying to put his leash on or even take it off, he would, get aggressive. So then, my wife next step was we brought his girlfriend over for a day. He came up with a female Chihuahua, and the two of them were pretty tight, and he was insanely protective of her. My wife and kids could get away with it. I couldn't. If I tried to pet her, he would growl at me. And again, if I persisted, that would lead to barking. And the next morning, the two of them slept in the bed, both of them like on top of Melissa. And it was so bad the next morning where I was across the room, okay? I wasn't even close to him, and he starts growling and snarling and like charging at me just because I'm in the same room as his girlfriend. So that wasn't cool. The reason we had both of them is because I had to take him to the vet for the and he's obviously calmed down after that. They're separated again. Someone, if they really wanted to, could adopt both of them together. I don't know how great of an idea that is. And then my wife and kids left for a few days. And it's just me and the guy. So I was worried how he would do with me putting his leash on and off and all of that. But he has become the sweetest little dude. So from intense occasional hatred to like he was sleeping next to me last night. So he's definitely become my buddy here. And the thing of it is, tomorrow he's got a adoption event right up in Brookfield, then in the States, from 11 to 2. And pre-approved adopters can take him, and they have to pay. I mentioned this in the short yesterday, and I didn't make it clear that it's not a free dog, but the pre-approval is free. And I've only had him for a week. I think my longest serving foster dog was like 3-4 months. Average is about 1 month. But I had one go in a day. I believe he's my 22nd foster from Canine. And it's kind of weird to think about it, but like tonight could be my last night with him. This could be it. Like, I spent having like 3 hours on the chair in the other room watching Scottish soccer with him, and he just sat on my lap and went to sleep. And he's just my buddy now. You see? So it is weird to think, because people have been asking about him, that I'd take him to this adoption event tomorrow. Hey, buddy, can you stand? You can't stand. He does beg. So it's weird if there's a pre-adopter at the event tomorrow who's done their paperwork, meets him and says, "That's my dude." They can pay, fill out their contract, and like done, gone. So in less than 24 hours, this little guy might be out of here. Or someone sees him, they're not sure, or they're not pre-approved, that it takes a couple days to get approved. It's entirely possible that he is gone relatively soon, which is good, I guess, because I do have to start gearing up for school again, and I'm going to be gone for a longer block of time. And this guy definitely doesn't like to be alone. And he doesn't interact too much with Milton. I mean, Milton's 90 pounds and he's 7, but he interacts a little bit with the cats since he's smaller than my cats. Buddy, can you stand? You back? Before my wife and kids left, he was spending more time with them than me, but they're gone, and he's just been in my shadow. If I put him down on the ground again, he's going to start whining because he wants to be doing this. So, people ask, how can you do it? How can you have a dog for a couple days, weeks, even months, and then see him go? It is hard. Like, hey, buddy, not you. I will be honest. There are times that I cry. You just get so attached to them and their stories, and even as mean as he's been with me sometimes, I know they're all good dogs, but and like they're dogs that I had fostered years ago that I'm still like, oh man, I miss that dog. So we had some Maryland stuff, so that's appropriate. But letting this guy go and getting adopted means it'll be that much quicker for me to get the next foster dog and help another dog out. So yeah, it's gonna be sad. And it's possible that he doesn't go this weekend or even next week. It's possible he could be one who sticks around for months. And like, I'm, believe it or not really a small dog person. I would have said 20, 30 pounds is my lower limit. He's 7, but definitely enjoying his company. But he will go eventually. So where I was heading with that line of thought is my wife likes him a lot. And he's house trained, and he's not destructive in the house. He goes to the bathroom outside. He's so small, we can't just let him out into the backyard like we do our other dog. Because even the small gap at the bottom of the fence is too small, too big for him. So he's always got to do leash walks, or we would have to rebuild the fence in a little dog secure way. So I'm not saying it's impossible that this guy gets kept, but one of the reasons we don't do that is because if we kept another dog, it would mean not fostering anymore, and fostering is really important to us, especially for me. I'm the animal guy. My youngest is really into animals too, and my oldest likes the Chihuahuas. So it would be tough to keep another one, but it's tough to see him go. It never gets easier. So we're gonna let this guy hang out. All right, we've got, looks like 3 top loaders from this set. Still haven't caught a Dark Queen Auto, which is the goal. So let's have a look. Social Studies star of the show, The Goat. The future has arrived. Social Studies. All right. Good job for you, Derek. Good luck with your surgery. I mentioned I did get my Pride Pass, so we'll be getting to a lot of Maryland this year. Definitely, it's only a couple hours away, so definitely planning on going to that game tonight. Hopefully one tomorrow as well, but we'll see. UMBC is still on the agenda. That'll mostly start when I start driving to and from Baltimore every day. Okay, you're a checkerboard refractor. The Sean Harris Smith. What's special about you? You're just a regular refractor. And last one, another, that's a checkerboard though. So it's a checkerboard. All right, very cool. All right. So our first look, we've got some of the Topps Chrome in our hand finally. This is the Orioles. I've mentioned this before. I've only been to one Orioles game all year with no immediate plans of going to another. Maybe again once I start going to Baltimore every day. But maybe not. And I just saw they're raising ticket prices next year. Or at least they're raising the price of the ticket plans and the number of games. I don't know. So last 2 years they were good, but they didn't win playoffs. And they were kind of starting to collapse by the end of last year. Then they had a really bad offseason where they lost some people and didn't replace them well, and they raised the prices. So it wasn't a good offseason. Then they started off really poorly, fired the coach, still played poorly, sold at the trade deadline. And like, I can handle a losing team if I'm connected to the community. If it's cheaper, at the very least, don't raise the price, cutting the perks at the same time. But really, over the last year and a half, they haven't played with a lot of heart. It's one thing to lose, but it's another thing to be that flat. So, I don't know. Kobe. And with prospects coming to Frederick next year, that might be my destination. Because it doesn't look like Bowie is going to do anything to get me back. Doesn't look like Orioles are going to do anything to get me back. The ways I could work my way back up there, honestly, meaning, like, all right, so next year, Frederick is going to be high A. So let's say I go to a lot of games there, and I actually start to feel connected again. And, like, I actually feel connected to players, which I've never really done. Like, I've never interacted with anybody in the Oriole system in any meaningful way. I just don't have a connection with anyone on the team. Let's say it happens though. Let's say I do get connected with some of the high A players. And as they work their way up to Bowie, maybe I follow them back to Bowie. Then eventually they end up in the bigs again. That's a way to get me back on the Orioles bandwagon, because it is affiliated ball again. We got a couple of top loaders. We've got a power player, Kobe Mayo. And a Fortune 15. Kobe Mayo. So, neat little insert. Didn't get any parallels. This is our first look. Topps Chrome still isn't my favorite. I just don't like the chrome with the natural background. Topps Finest is coming out real soon, which is the chrome look without the natural background. I think that looks better, like this insert here. I like that, just on face value. All right, it's from north of 7, but it looks like it's a single card, which north of 7 isn't. They do a lot of. I like them, but I don't like them. They do a lot of pick your player breaks. They don't always ship base cards, and I like getting base cards. And if you do like a pick your player or whatever, they charge a lot for shipping. So if you get a lot of players, it looks like it's a soccer. If you get a lot of players, the shipping can really add up, even though you're not getting many cards. So I don't always like North of 7, but they do have pretty good product, and sometimes you get a price. So I've got one single Rose Lavelle card here. Let's see what we got. It's a FIFA. Terrace. One. Actually, no, it's a couple. So it's the same card, just a couple of them. Rose was one of our favorite players back when we started watching Spirit. There is still a chance that we get to some Spirit. No, she's on the Spirit anymore, but there's a chance we get to some Spirit. Definitely a chance for some DC Power FC. But if Maryland is my destination and UMBC is my destination, I don't really need to go into DC. Just going into DC is a bit of a process. You either have to drive down to the Navy Yards, and parking down there is not good. It's either going to be expensive or not a great area. Or I can drive 20 minutes to the metro, get on the red line, take the red line a couple stops, get on, I think, green line, take that to Navy Yard Ballpark, then walk to the stadium. It's a bit much of a process when I've got my Maryland Pride Pass, $100, soccer, men's and women's, volleyball, wrestling, and baseball. All sports I enjoy for $100 for a whole season. And UMBC is right along my route home. So I'm going to give their soccer a chance, maybe even volleyball or whatever else they have going on. Towson is coming up as an underdog. They're farther out of the way. I feel like they're gaining ground on UMBC. We'll see. I haven't really given UMBC a shot for any of the fall sports yet. And we'll see what happens. They're right along my route. We've got one more Mojo break. I think I'm breaking up with MojoBreak. They do a lot of good things. It's not necessarily even through a fault of their own kind of situation. Number one, my wife wants me getting at cards and spending money on MojoBreak, especially because I'm not really selling stuff now. I'm just collecting it, which I'm okay with, or not so much. We got some Miami Dolphins. Maybe we're going to save that. Because my wife is in Florida right now, so we'll let her do that. So it wasn't. Hey, bud. I wasn't buying any cards for a while, and then started getting some more. And MojoBreak had their big national convention giveaway. So essentially, every spot you got in a break, you got entries into their giveaway. And this is Chrome that I like, not the natural background. So I bought into a lot of breaks that I liked. It's not like I didn't get cards for buying into the breaks. But, I was hoping to win something in the giveaway. And even as many entries as I had, got absolutely nothing in the giveaway. Now, it's not necessarily their fault. You could say, they didn't do enough with the giveaway if, because a lot of people were saying, like other people were saying they bought into like anywhere from 30 to 50 breaks and got nothing in the giveaway. So maybe that's a little bit their fault. Maybe it's just bad luck. Maybe, whatever. It's not like I didn't get anything from buying into the breaks. I got the breaks. Sometimes, I think it was with Super Bowl squares, they were definitely charging more than usual because there was this bonus. So in that case, if I was paying extra to help pay for the bonus prizes, and then I didn't get any of the bonus prizes, then I lost. And I don't handle losing well. So at the very least, it's kind of woken me up a little bit to I'm just not having fun with that. And if I'm not having fun, I'm not going to do it. So at the very least, they're temporarily on hold. What you doing, pal? At the most, I'm broken up with them. If that means less cards, then so be it. We'll talk about dogs. All right, main event. It has been hard to get my hands on wrestling lately because I guess Panini lost their license, so no more Panini cards, and Topps hasn't come out with very many sets. So like they have the Chrome set, and then they have the Chrome Sapphire, and then the Chrome Captain Jack. There's not as many wrestling cards. I believe there's an AEW set coming out. Don't really watch AEW much anymore. Did see TNA is coming to Baltimore, like next week. Did see, well, I watched SummerSlam. It was okay. Some good stuff, some average stuff, some. But I did see that the network is changing again. They're changing the network. It's going to move to ESPN, but not ESPN Plus, which I have, a separate ESPN that'll cost twice as much, 3 times as much as what I'm paying now. Considering I don't watch WWE very much, I'm just not likely to follow. I'm certainly not likely to pay more. So anyway, I found someone who is breaking some National Treasures. It looks like I got 2 cards from it. We've got a Carl Anderson gear, numbered to 99. Then we've got Kofi Kingston. Oh, wow. Colossal gear. And like you can tell, like that's the New Day patch in it. That's really cool. Number 225. So I like this one. This one's really cool. And actually, even this one is multicolored. And he might even be wearing Kofi's not. But Anderson might be wearing the thing I've got the part of. Alright, so that is cool. I'll be back. Well, alright. Tonight, University of Maryland. Don't think I'll go live from Maryland, but you never know. Tomorrow morning, adoption event with Pup here, 11 to 2. Tomorrow night, men's Maryland soccer. I think that's at 7. Sunday is when I do my Facebook show. So we'll do something there. And I guess my next game after that would probably be Wednesday in Frederick. If he's still around, he might get to go with me. Otherwise, we'll take Milton. And the keys will be around all next week. I've got some tickets I need to use, so we'll make sure we start making use of those. That's going to do it for me. I get some stuff done, and then I'm off to College Park later. See you guys.